Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be explaining how I cut my hair by myself using a regular pair of scissors. This is the finished look that I achieved using these scissors, and they're basically just normal scissors. These are from IKEA. They're just literally just regular scissors. Although it might help if they're new, because then the blades will be sharper and it'll be easier to cut your hair. And less damaging to your hair. So basically for this cut, I kept my side parting and I basically cut long layers. And you want to start by sort of estimating where you want the longest parts of your hair to end. So say you want to cut a couple inches off, I would take all your hair from behind, split it into half in the back, and bring it all forward. That's how I cut my hair normally, because I just use a mirror right in front of me. I don't necessarily have one behind, so this is the most easy way I've found to cut the hair at the back as well. So you just pull it forward, and basically the hair at the back will be pulled towards the inner halves here. This is basically the hair from the back, and then this is the hair that's on the sides and on the front. It's on the outside. So you always want the inner parts, which is the back hair, to stay the longest. So you could start by, say if you want to cut 2 inches off, you could cut just a straight line to start off with, just chop it all off, okay? And you have to remember that that's the longest you want your hair to be. And then from there, I would leave the longest part for now, and then think about where you want your shortest layers to start. So say you want, like me, just below the chin. So I would start by trimming this part. So I would cut it at an angle, because the layer, you want it to go down that way. So that's what I would do. I would just hold the piece of hair and just go like that and just shear it off like that, and that's how you achieve this sort of gradient effect. If you want more choppy layers, you could, instead of just going like that with your scissors, you could actually do this. So you sort of chop and then move down a bit, chop, chop, chop. So as you're sliding down a strand of hair, you're sort of squeezing the scissors as well, so that it sort of creates a more ridged layer. So that's what I do. And then, you know, you do it bit by bit. So you do that, whatever layer, and then you move on. You could do the other side at the same time, so it's more even. Now it's a bit trickier to do the side that's the same side as the hand you're using, but what I do is I hold the strand just like I did just now, and basically with this hand I just sort of, how did I do it? Yeah, I sort of twist this over so that I've got the side I want to cut, and I also twist this hand, and then I do the same thing, just like that. And then you should get even layers on both sides, and then you progress down. It's the same story for both sides, you know. As you go down, you just follow whatever gradient you want. If you want more obvious layers, you could obviously start higher up, and then you could make the gradient steeper or even more gradual, depending on how thin you want how much you want to thin out your hair. And then when you've gotten to the point where you don't want the gradient anymore, you just want to keep the length at the bottom, but you obviously don't want to keep that straight line. Basically last night, after I filmed my video where I was asking you guys about my new hair color, and I told you that it was the straight edge at the bottom was bothering me, so last night I actually went back and thinned my hair out a bit. And how I did that was basically, as I said before, this side, these parts are the back, so these should always be the longest. So first I worked on the outer halves, and what I did was, you can take random bits from here, from the outside. Not by outside, I mean the part that's sort of where the air is touching, if that makes sense. And I would do the same thing that I did with the layers up here, and I would just shear them down a bit. And you can do that with random strands, but just don't be too extreme about it, otherwise you can end up with really, really uneven lengths. But if that's the look you're going for, then go ahead. So just take random bits and just shear them out, and that will just thin them. And then to get the bottom to be not so straight, see, as you can see here, it's not that straight anymore after what I did last night. And what you can do is you should always try to do these two bits separately, because just so the back doesn't look so weird when you have all your hair at the back. So you get this nice sort of V shape that hairdressers tend to go for when you have layered hair. So basically, if it's all straight at the bottom, I just take it like this and then I chop it, you know, obviously I can't cut it, but just chop random bits like that, and that'll just make the ends a bit more uneven, as you can see. And then for this bit, you can do the same thing, just not as drastic. So you always maintain the length, the longest lengths in these parts. And you have to remember that I have no hair at the back right now, I just pulled it all forward. And you do the same thing on the other side, and you should end up with a pretty good, like, I don't know, uneven ends that look like they haven't been freshly cut. Like, you're trying to achieve the look where people can't really tell that you've just had a haircut. It looks like it's naturally grown out, a bit uneven, because that's how your hair should look a couple weeks after a haircut. So I can show you how the layers actually look in the end. So this is what they look like. Obviously, if you have a middle parting, cut your hair with a middle parting to ensure that the layers are even. Oh, actually still kind of works for me. They're still kind of even. But you know, if you're going extreme parting, just make sure you part your hair before you cut your layers so that both sides are even. So yeah, that's basically how I cut my hair. Let me show you the back when it's all at the back. So it's a bit choppy. It might not be that perfect at the back, but that's sort of what I wanted. I didn't want like a perfect haircut. I wanted something that just looked sort of effortless and more natural. So yeah, sorry I keep looking over there. I have a mirror there just to check that I'm presenting this nicely. So yeah, that's how I cut my hair. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Oh, and I cut my hair over a sink with a piece of newspaper covering the entire counter and the sink, so that all the hair falls onto the newspaper, and then at the end I can just wrap it all up and throw it in the bin, and it's like a minimal mess. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I hope that's what you guys were looking for. If any of you try it at home, please let me know how it turns out, because that'd be really nice to know whether it was successful. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that, and have a great day everyone. Bye!